From Washington, this is VOA News. Late developments in the search of the sunken South Korea ferry in Ukraine, a day of quiet. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington. Hundreds of divers, many civilian volunteers, battled strong undercurrents to enter the submerged ferry off the coast of South Korea Saturday. Authorities said divers had recovered 3 bodies from the vessel by late evening as flares illuminated the night skies and divers fought to gain access to the vessel. U.S. sailors and Marines aboard an amphibious assault ship assisted in the search efforts in the area. South Korean prosecutors now say the 26-year-old third mate, left to steer the ferry throughout a treacherous waterway, was navigating the area for the first time when the vessel listed on its side and sank with hundreds on board. That disclosure was late Saturday, nearly 90 hours after the ferry went down off the southwestern island of Jindo with 476 people on board. Ukraine's foreign minister says security operations to oust pro-Russian militants from buildings they've seized are suspended. Andriy Dychitsa said Saturday efforts are suspended for the Easter holiday. He also said this would allow Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, monitors, more time to organize. In March, the OSCE launched a special mission to gather information on security and human rights in Ukraine. The group is also working to facilitate dialogue in the country. There is a strong historical religious connection between Russia and Ukraine. What role is religion playing in the current conflict in the run-up to Easter? For VOA, Michael Echols has a report from Moscow.
From the outset, clergy played a part in the demonstrations in Kiev and other parts of Ukraine, while church leaders of all faiths in Ukraine appear to support the new political leadership in Kiev. The Russian clergy are keeping silent about recent events. For both Russian and Ukrainian Orthodox believers, Easter is the most significant religious holiday. And this year it coincides with Easter in the West. Many faithful are no doubt praying that Ukrainians and Russians can avoid an escalation of the current conflict. Michael Echols for VOA News, Moscow.
French President François Hollande has expressed immense relief over the release of 4 French journalists held hostage in Syria for 10 months. Turkey's Dogan News Agency, or DHA, says Turkish soldiers found the men on the border with Syria blindfolded with their hands bound. They had been captured in 2 separate incidents last June while covering the conflict in Syria. Islamic extremists Saturday claimed responsibility for the bombing in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, that left 75 people dead last Monday. In a video message, Abu Bakr Shekau, the leader of Boko Haram, taunted authorities and claimed to be living somewhere in the capital. Meanwhile, Nigerian officials are still searching for 85 schoolgirls abducted from the northeastern town of Chibok on Monday. Saturday, officials said 44 other girls have escaped from the kidnappers who seized them at a secondary school. Government officials from the U.S. and Vietnam attended a ceremony Saturday marking the next stage in an Agent Orange cleanup at a former American air base in central Vietnam. Marianne Brown reports from Da Nang City.
The herbicide was sprayed by the U.S. military as a defoliant to destroy jungle cover for communist troops. Its unintended but highly toxic byproduct, dioxin, has been linked to diseases such as diabetes, cancer, and birth defects. U.S. Ambassador to Vietnam David Shear spoke at the event.
Beginning today, the contaminated soil will be heated to extremely high temperatures to destroy the dioxin.
Healing the wounds of war has been an important issue for the 2 countries since diplomatic relations were normalized nearly 2 decades ago. Marianne Brown for VOA News in Da Nang.
Searchers in Nepal recovered a 13th body from the snow Saturday after a massive avalanche swept the lower slopes of the world's tallest peak. Officials say 3 Nepalese guides or Sherpas remain missing after Friday's disaster on Mount Everest. An estimated 100 climbers are reported stranded above the site of what is believed to be the worst ever climbing disaster on the mountain. Police in Pakistan say gunmen have shot a famous Pakistani television anchor, the latest in a wave of attacks on journalists in the country. Hamid Mir, a host for the private television channel Geo, was wounded in the attack in Karachi Saturday, but he is expected to survive. Police say Mr. Mir suffered 3 gunshot wounds to the stomach, leg, and pelvic area. More on these stories at voanews.com. I'm Vincent Bruce, VOA News, Washington.